Hello everybody, welcome to Matt Makes Monsters. My name is Matt, and today we're going old school with the ghoul. That's the best I could come up with. I should write these down. Okay, here's Ghoulie. Ghoul on Ghoul Day. So the ghoul goes through many steps, and I seem to have a hard time nailing him down. There's a couple things. I mean, look, this is fairly standard stuff. I change things all the time. You're going to notice this with almost all my monsters. I rarely get it right on the first try, and that's completely normal. There's a special story with this guy, but I'm going to tell you after I read his description from the 2nd edition Monstrous Manual from Dungeons & Dragons. Wizard voice, please.
Ghouls are undead creatures, once human, who now feed on the flesh of corpses. Although they change from human to ghoul, has deranged and destroyed their minds, ghouls have a terrible cunning which enables them to hunt their prey most effectively. Ghouls are vaguely recognizable as once having been human, but the tongue becomes long and tough for licking marrow from cracked bones, and teeth become sharp and elongated, and nails grow strong and sharp like claws.
So I gave him claws, and I gave him a big tongue, and I gave him teeth. So I was basing this off of a drawing I did before. See, the story goes like this. Thursday, picture it, the boule went up. I go to my iPad, I go to my gallery, and I'm about to export my video for the ghoul. And when I go to the ghoul, this is what I see. Yeah, it doesn't quite measure up to the boule and the beholder and the goblin, so I was thinking to myself, I can't put that up. I can't show that. That's not something I'm particularly proud of. So what do? I start all over again. On Friday morning, I grab my coffee, I drop the kids off at school, take my iPad, head up to the 4th floor, and this is what I do. Starting for 10 o'clock in the morning, go until 3. This is what I do. Oh, where did his head go? Well, I hated the position of it. And what do you do when you're in digital art and you hate the position of something? You cut it out. So that's what I did. I moved his head. That's way better. I feel much better about that position. I like it. It's great. There's only one small problem that I don't like his face, but we'll get to that in a second. I'll be changing that entirely. So I started all over again, because that's what you do when you're not pleased with something. And so this took about 10 hours, I think. There we go. I didn't like the sneer. It made him too human. And I didn't like the sneer in his mouth or the brow furrow. I didn't like any of that, so I ditched it. And I made him look more just creepy, just a little more mindless. And I think this is way better than that green monstrosity that I had before. So I can't tell you that I'm not going to do this again. I think I might. I got to go back and see what the other monsters look like, but that's fine. Hey, pro tip, if you don't want to draw legs and feet, just put them in water like I did, and then add some fog. Then you'll never have to draw legs and feet again. There was always a problem when in high school and actually beyond. I was like the Rob Liefeld of the artists I knew. I just never drew feet. It just was a pain. I didn't enjoy it. So I really practiced up. My high school art teacher used to give me a hard time about it. Mr. Brown, I got it. You're gonna have to trust me though. Go watch the Goblin. He's got feet. Feet. See? This guy has feet too. They're just hidden by water and time and shortcuts. I was going off the other one. I was going off the green one. He was scary. He was jumping out of the water. This one's not jumping. It's less action, but it's still spooky. So I got a City of the Dead type situation going on there in the background. And once I got the color in over the white, I was like, that's really cool, but let's give him more of a sharp, more of like an intense specular on there to make him look wet and gross. And I am extremely pleased with the effect. I'm, like I said, I don't know, like this digital coloring thing is very new to me. So I had never tried doing this before on top of color. I usually put like a grayscale over, but I just went straight into the color this time, and I like it. I like it. There's not a lot of actual full color on him that you can pick out. It's mostly environmental, but, you know, City of the Dead, river, fog, ghoul, you know, I think it strangely works. I'm pretty happy with how he turned out. I think he's a special little guy. And I know I talked a lot about failure last week, and sometimes you got to start over, like failing and then starting over. It's the only way to kick your creativity in the pants and start again. So that's what I did for him. Now for the cartoony guy, this is a different story, because normally I do the cartoony guy based on the real version. In this case, it was kind of reversed. I based this cartoony guy on the green version of the guy I did, which made designing him again kind of unique, because I had to keep back and referring to this to make sure it wasn't too far off. But the funny thing is he's got the furrowed brow here and the sneer, which makes him a little more comical. I don't think the cartoony version would have been quite as effective if he had the weird non-expression. So I wanted to really jack that up and give him something a little extra. So you'll notice I haven't drawn the hand. That's laziness. I just didn't want to. So I drew it, and then I hated it, and then I drew it, and then I hated it. What is that, 4 times now? So in the end, I just copied the hand and pasted it. The other one. I'm ashamed. I feel bad about the whole thing. So then I get into this point where I'm adding the shading, and I'm like, I don't like his silhouette at all. Like, you can't make out the tongue. The tongue is hidden by the hand. And part of me was honestly feeling extremely guilty about copying that hand over. So I moved the tongue, and I thought, okay, well, at least that's a better silhouette, except it's really obvious that I copied and pasted the hand. So in the end, I just redrew it anyway, because of course I did, because that's what you do. That's what you do. There are no shortcuts. There's lots of shortcuts. Lots and lots. I mean, you saw me literally clip the other guy's head and move it. But in this case, I just had to redraw the hand. Is it a great hand? No, it's not my favorite thing. In fact, it doesn't look as good as the other hand, but that's fine. It's fine. Ah, yes. Now this is where I go through every single color of the rainbow, trying to find the right one for him. Now keep in mind, this was based off the green one, so the background doesn't really match. The ghouls have been in D&D since the very beginning. Like, they've been in there since the white box. So they're an old school monster, and they're not like one that usually comes to mind. But here he is. Bam. So there they are in their glory, with their long tongues, their sharp teeth and claws, and the corpse eating and whatnot. They're up on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. They're slightly higher res. You can go check them out there, and you don't have to pause and examine them. And maybe you're done. Maybe you're done looking at them, which is fine. But if you want a closer look, that's where to do it. Also, the rest of them are also collected on there, so it would be a good place to just go. Follow me. All right, everybody. Next week, we are going to be doing the Owl Bear. So if you're not subscribed, please do. And if you want to get notified, hit the bell. And I will see you next week when we owl bear it up. And if you don't know what an owl bear is, it's what it sounds like. It's an owl and a bear together, mixed in love. Not in love, just mixed. I don't know why I said in love. All right, later.